American president has been heard saying, we've been speaking to our sources in the oil ministry here at NDTV Profit, and we've been asking them about how India is going to react. And we've heard that India is closely reviewing the latest US sanctions on the two major Russian oil firms, and sources are telling us that the oil ministry is assessing the potential fallout on the state-run oil marketing companies, though the overall impact, we're hearing from them, is expected to be rather limited. Let's find out more from my colleague Shrimi. She's been speaking to her sources. Shrimi, tell us what they are telling you about the likely impact of the kind of sanctions that the Americans have imposed on those Russian oil firms, and how the Indian oil ministry is looking at tackling it.
Yes, Vikram. So this is very crucial information given the kind of sanction of two major Russian oil companies. And what we are learning at this point, that Petroleum Ministry is, closely reviewing the possible impact on the state-run oil marketing companies. However, the early indication sources are giving us that the effect and the impact will be limited, and reason being that most state-run OMCs, source Russian oil through intermediaries and traders rather than directly from these two sanctioned entities. In fact, the traders and intermediaries, primarily European firms and those based in, Dubai and Singapore. So, they are outside the sanctions framework. That's what the hint is coming, which will allow flows to continue even in the near term. In fact, sources indicated that the public sector, refiners are assessing the compliance risk, which may arise from these new sanctions, but are unlikely to, immediately halt the Russian crude import. But that could be perhaps done in a gradual fashion. But do note the fact that state-run refiners do not maintain any sort of, fixed long-term contract with these, Russian producers. And in fact, the purchases are typically made through spot tenders, in which global traders participate after acquiring crude from Russian entities. So official sources in the ministry underlining the fact that OMC have already kind of reducing the exposure to Russian oil in recent months, aligning with the changed, market dynamics, with and also kind of highlighted that we have now diversified import sources and ample crude availability. So that is making India in a quite comfortable position as far as crude supply is concerned.
So what Shrimi is hearing is clearly that there are intermediaries involved. In any case, we have reduced our dependence on Russian oil, which is why the oil ministry sources she's been speaking to are pretty sanguine about this. Meanwhile, the two